Hello my dear viewers, I am not dead. I mean, of course I wouldn't be dead if you've been paying attention to all of the community posts that I've been spamming about my second album. Actually, it was only 2 posts that I made about it this year, now that I think about it. Regardless, I was busy around that time, but now that I got this album out, I'm back to reviewing music, yay! And for this occasion I actually want to do something that I usually don't do. Something that I don't think anyone has actually done yet. I'm gonna look at every year and I'm gonna rank the 25 most streamed songs of said year. We're going to start with the year 2000 and we're gonna go upwards first, all the way till the present, and then we'll go backwards all the way till I don't know, the early 60s. I guess we'll have to see. The reason why I'm doing this is because of several reasons. First, I like talking about pop music. In some cases you could even call me a Tony in the Shadows ripoff. B, I have an autistic obsession with Spotify streams for some reason. And C, I'm fairly autistic when it comes to rankings. I could have done this with the Billboard year-end list, but the reason why I didn't is because a lot of those lists have generally a lot of forgotten hits that people don't really talk about, and they're kind of forgotten for a reason. At the very least, a lot of them are forgotten for a reason. At the very least with Spotify streams, I mean, I'm covering songs that are still relevant to this day and people still listen to. I don't know, I think this is just gonna be a more interesting approach. Besides, again, I don't think anyone has done this particular format yet. Yeah, I don't know, let's not waste any more time. Let's get to this list. Alright, I guess by the nature of ranking songs from 25 years ago, we are bound to encounter a lot of past dated trends in music. Nu metal is not necessarily the most dated thing in the world. I mean, there is like a little revival going on right now, and some of the bands from this genre have aged pretty well. But the ones that didn't age well. And this song is probably the national anthem of badly aged nu metal songs. Alright, The Storm, hit me with the... Oh yeah, there you go. Classic. Now, to be fair, I can understand why this song became a hit back in the early 2000s. It is a pretty memorable song, but for the, all the wrong reasons. Well, okay, the chorus, as dated and cringy as it is also kind of catchy. I can bump to this shit if I decide to turn my brain off, I suppose, but the... I hear that part and I'm just unable to take the song seriously, like in any capacity. Like, it's just so fucking goofy, man. It speaks for itself. And that's not even the most baffling part. Yeah, you know what I meant. The View solo. What compelled the band to do shit like this? I mean, considering that this is the same band that did that awful cover of The Sound of Silence 16 years later, I guess I shouldn't really be surprised, but like, I just find it bizarre that a band that was arguably mainstream at the time could release a song like this and still be popular. Like, fun fact, I actually didn't know about the Abuse solo till I listened to the song in full for this video, and even after hearing all of this dated nu metal schlock, this solo still felt like it greatly stood out for just how embarrassing it is. I don't know, I don't necessarily despise the song because it is kind of funny bad, and again, the most shameless part of my brain can bump to the chorus when it's activated, but it's undeniably still a really bad song regardless. That's, again, just dated as hell. This one comes from Papa Roach, a band that I never liked. I don't think many people really like Papa Roach despite how popular they were in the early 2000s. I mean, they're just bad. I think they're hard to like just on the basis that, well, they feel less concerned about artistic merit and just more so about following trends with each album, like just seeing what's popular. Then, well, they just try to do that sound in a very generic way. As for this song, I don't think it's necessarily as embarrassing as Down with the Sickness, but this song is still another good example of a popular nu metal hit that just hasn't really aged well in the slightest. I mean, for starters, I just don't like Jacoby as a vocalist. I mean, he's not entirely incompetent as a vocalist, but he just brings a very unenjoyable and stiff performance. Like, he's just not really a voice that I find very compelling. It doesn't help either that when you mix that up with the shitty hook, which is, funnily enough, probably the most dated aspect of this song. I'm editing this video right now, and I don't know why I said funnily enough as the hook being the most dated aspect. I don't know, man. I haven't made YouTube videos in a while. Let me try to recover. Why don't you? Like, I just hear the hook and it just sounds like ass. Again, just emblematic of the less stellar aspects of new metal. This is higher than Down with the Sickness because, well, I feel like having an abuse breakdown in your song just automatically puts you below, which is just a pretty bad new metal song. But I will say this much: Down with the Sickness is more enjoyable to listen to. Like, this is the least enjoyable song of this ranking, honestly, even if it's far less embarrassing than, well, this. 'Cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. This is a classic for the ages. I actually found out recently that a lot of people like this song and consider it to be a childhood favorite. So I guess to some this is going to come off as a bit of a hot take, but I think the song is kind of terrible, dog. I mean, I do find it terrible in a endearing way, like in a way that does make me smile a little bit, but it's still pretty terrible. Just right off the bat, I like how the song starts with these DJ scratches that are accompanied by this acoustic melody. It's a very early 2000s sounding song, but I like me some early 2000s, so I can probably handle this level of cheese to it. The moment I lose it though is when the vocals come in. Her name is Noelle. I have a dream about her. Like, I'm sorry, but this guy sounds like a satire of this kind of wailing, nerdy vocalists that were kind of present in the 90s and the 2000s. I mean, obviously there can be a charm to it. I made a 1-hour video where I talk about Weezer after all. But this is just too much. I mean, even I can beat this guy up. And don't even get me started on the bridge. This bridge is really bad. Also, I'm just gonna say it, I don't like the Iron Maiden references he does throughout. I'm saying this as if I hear people saying that the Iron Maiden references are cool, or I don't know. I don't like them. Like, I can't even really describe it. It just has a bad vibe to it. Like, it just... I don't know, I don't like it. The song is almost charming on how tone deaf and childish it sounds, but at the end of the day, I do think it's pretty bad. So if you've seen my channel, you know that I'm a fan of Linkin Park. They were one of the very first bands that I've gotten heavily into, and to this day I still have a soft spot for a lot of their music. This song is not really part of that same category though. I mean, listen, I really like Hybrid Theory, I think it's a classic, and Points of Authority is still one of the absolute best new metal songs out there in my opinion. But Crawling kind of always felt like the black sheep of the album for me. I mean, there are things that I like about it. I like the production, I like the intro, and everything else just kind of sucks. I mean, other than the hook, which I believe became a meme for probably the wrong reasons, the rest of the song just feels very dull to me, and I don't know, I just think the overall structure of the song feels very awkward and clunky. It's not an awful song. I feel like if another band made this, it will definitely be worse, because I mean, this still has that trademark Linkin Park production that definitely makes a lot of their music unique to me. But otherwise, I don't think there's really much to like about this one, to be honest. If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? Kryptonite. This is the first post-grunge song that we'll be talking about in this series of ranking videos. And unfortunately, I think this is a poor introduction to it because I don't really have a lot to say about this one, to be honest. I mean, okay, post-grunge is not really a great genre per se, but still, there are definitely a lot of better post-grunge songs than this one for sure. The song just always felt like radio filler to me. Like, I guess the hook is kind of catchy enough to see why radio stations will play it back then, but it's performed in such a bland and uninteresting way that it barely feels like it exists. And that honestly can apply to the whole song just generally. Even down to the lyrics, which are just not interesting at all. Like, if you were to ask me the definition of a 4 out of 10 song, I will say Kryptonite by Three Doors Down, because yeah, it is just a 4 out of 10 song, like in every inch of its body. Dancing in the Moonlight. This is another song that I don't really have a lot to say about it, and another song that I don't really like that much. I don't even think this one's bad at all. Unlike Kryptonite, I do see the appeal of this one. Like, you know, I listen to those synths and I gotta admit, they do sound pretty colorful and nice, but otherwise, this is another song that I think it's just kind of performed in a sort of boring, sort of bland way. And honestly, I cannot even tell you why that's the case. And also, I just want to point out the album cover where the song comes from just kind of looks like this weird Oasis bootleg rip-off thing. I don't know. I'm not even criticizing the album cover, it just kind of gives off a similar vibe. I just think it's funny. I don't know, man, I just like talking about Oasis. Honey came in and she got me red-handed, creepy with the girl next door. Alright, I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually never heard the song before making this video. Was it actually a hit? It probably was, I just think I somehow gone my entire life without knowing about it. I mean, I will say this much, I do know about Mr. Bombastic, that's a classic. Anyways, I have some mixed thoughts on It Wasn't Me. I kinda like the swagger that Rick Rock brings into the song, and the lyrics I think are really funny.
But I don't really like the rest of the song, to be honest.
Like, there's only so much pop reggae cheesiness that I can take, and honestly, I don't like Shaggy's parts at all. Like, Mr. Bombastic was silly and weird in the best way. Him on here, on the other hand, it just kind of sticks as a sore thumb, and I'm not gonna lie, this feels more like a Rick Rock song than a Shaggy one, considering that Shaggy feels more of a feature than the song actually being his. Oh hell yeah, you know what time it is, partner? It's time to roll and roll and roll. So, do you remember when I made that, quite frankly, not very good Results May Vary video? I think I was too harsh on the music they've made when they were popular, honestly. At the very least, with some of the singles. So, let me clarify, Break Stuff is a banger. Nookie is honestly kind of a fun song too. I listened to that one more times than I would like to admit. And Rollin' is also kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I mean, it's a guilty pleasure for a lot of people. Like, it has a hook that a lot of people are going to find annoying and dated, but goddamn, it's going to stick in your head. And then a month later, you're going to realize that you fuck with the song. That's pretty much my experience. Also, it's worth noting that the video for this song was the last video to be shot on the Twin Towers before 9/11. If you didn't know that information before, well, there you go. There's a little fun fact for your daily life. I hope you enjoy it. Oh wow, this one is a little better than I remembered, and by that I mean it's okay. I know that I said that the 2000s is quite the comfort zone for me. I mean, you can figure out why I started with this year, but I think this specific sound that Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC had, that does feel pretty dated to me. I mean, obviously there are bangers within that time frame. I do fuck with I Want It That Way and a certain other song that we'll be talking about later in this video.
But for the most part, I mean, yeah, it was a pretty cheesy sound. This song to me just kind of feels like a lesser version of Baby One More Time, which I think is a generally solid pop song, although definitely far from one of the best songs ever made. I mean, it's like a 10 out of 10, and I guess this one's like a 6 out of 10. Like, you know, it does retain some of that charm, and you know, it has a pretty catchy hook for, well, the right and wrong reasons. It's just, you know, this style of music, this sound of music, this, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is that boy bands and Britney Spears and a lot of other artists were doing, it's just not one of the better eras of pop music. Like, it just feels too commercialized. And I know that pop music in general is commercialized in a lot of ways, but you still get what I mean, right? I don't know, this song is, I guess, what it is. It's a perfectly fine teen pop song from the early 2000s, and I mean, hey, if you're into this sound that Britney was doing back then, you know, you'll probably like this a lot. I just think it's okay. It's my life, it's now or never. You know, it was like really uncommon in the 2000s for 80s artists to make a comeback in the 2000s. I mean, considering how different the sound of pop was when comparing both of those decades together, well, you can kind of see why that was the case.
I mean, let me just name several random 80s acts. Metallica, oh god, oh. But still, you definitely have your exceptions, and It's My Life is one of them that I think did something that I haven't seen any other pop song do. And that is to sound very 80s, but also somehow very early 2000s at the same time. I don't know how you managed that, but Bon Jovi did it. Congratulations, Bon Jovi. I don't know, It's My Life is one of those songs that is not necessarily good per se. I mean, it's cheesy as hell, it has a lot of, well, bad lines. And it definitely sounds very dated, but it's also kind of a banger, you know, like, even after all of these years, I do enjoy listening to it. It is a little bit of a guilty pleasure of mine, I guess you could say. Even though I do cringe a lot whenever those... Come on. Oh, this song. Not gonna lie, I don't think I was expecting this to be one of the most streamed songs of this year. The only place that I've heard it was in the gym, and I thought it was because my gym teacher just really liked this genre that this song belongs to. I don't know what that genre is, to be honest. Eurodance, I think?
As for my opinion on this song, I think it's cute.
I found out that a lot of people really love this one, so I guess I find it to be a little bit overrated because I don't think it's that good, but it's a decently fun time. I enjoy it whenever it comes on the gym, and I really like the female vocals that come in somewhere in the song. They kind of make the song feel a little bit more magical, I guess. Other than that, I mean, you know, cute melody, cute sound. It's a relatively decent song.
Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling.
Alright, time for the other Shaggy song on the list that I actually do like a little bit more. Which is funny because my main problem with it is actually sort of the same as It Wasn't Me.
Where this feels less like a Shaggy song and more of a, well, I guess in this case, a Raven song. You know, he's the one carrying the smooth beat, the sweet charming vocals, the swagger.
I don't think Raven is doing all these things like fantastically, like something I will be praising as one of the best, but he's pretty good at it regardless. It's just that Shaggy still kind of breaks the flow of the song a little bit. Like, how is this mainly a Shaggy song? I will say this much, he does break the mood of the song here less than he does on It Wasn't Me, so, you know, I guess that's for something.
It's a beautiful day.
Alright, since I already talked about this song on my YouTube video, I'll try to keep it short and brief with this one. Wait, actually no, I won't keep it short and brief with this one, that video sucks. Anyways, Beautiful Day is a song that I like, but more than I should honestly. It's probably the biggest guilty pleasure of the list if I'm being honest. Beautiful Day was U2's comeback to the mainstream after their album Pop flopped commercially, and it definitely sounds like it just based on the fact that they're very clearly trying to go back to the sound and mood that defined their music in the 80s, at the very least with the Joshua Tree. But is it a successful return to form, or is it just a sellout that lacks the authenticity of the 80s output? Well, actually, I think it's both. I think it captures the sound of the earlier stuff with a more modern, early 2000s coat of paint successfully. I mean, this song sounds nice and grand, something that I will play whenever I wake up in the morning not feeling like shit.
But not only are the lyrics seriously bad in some places, but this is also the start of, well, Bono basically being up his own ass.
Although I do like how goofy he is in the music video. Like, this is overall a pretty shallow song that tries to act like it's way bigger than it really is. I don't know, what I'm saying is, this is an uplifting and nice song musically, but I also don't like what it represents. It has the sound and even the songwriting to an extent for the most part, but it also lacks the authenticity and depth of at the very least the big singles of the Joshua Tree. And it doesn't help either that the production feels kinda flat too. I know that I sound more negative than the ranking of the song suggests, but the song is this high on the list because I do really enjoy listening to it. I cannot lie to you.
I wanna see you out that door, baby, bye, bye, bye.
So I know that I've said that I wasn't really much of a fan of this kind of sound that a lot of boy bands and I guess early Britney Spears had in the late 90s and early 2000s, but there are obviously exceptions and I think this is one of them. The song is pretty fun. Really, I don't have a lot to say about it, I just think it decently succeeds at what it does. The energy is fun and prominent throughout the song, the hook is catchy and sings, you see what I did there, well with the rest. The band provides a strong performance throughout it all, it just makes you wanna dance. It's a banger on the gym. I know this because my gym played this once and it was kind of awesome, not gonna lie. Yeah, this is a pretty good song, I like it.
If you wanna go and take a ride with me, we three willing in the four with the dozies, oh.
That hook is classic right there. This is a classic ass hook. This is one of those songs that you hear it and you instantly recognize what it is. It just has so much swagger and it just sounds so smooth and that...
Oh, Slay My King. I'm sorry.
I quite like this song. I haven't heard it much outside of it in public. I mean, I don't think the verses are nearly as good as the hook. City Spots verse especially, I think it's just kind of eh. But again, the hook just rocks. I love the hook. And even then, I still think most of the song that is in the hook is still okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said before, it's kind of a classic. At the very least, the hook is a classic.
Everything you say to me, just one step closer to the edge.
Cracking into the top 10, we're back with another Linkin Park song, and this is one that I really like. So, like I said before, with the exception of Crawling, Hybrid Theory is an album that I have a lot of nostalgia for, and I still really like it to this day. And I think Linkin Park is one of the very few new metal bands that has that particularly angsty new metal attitude, but also being actually good at it. I bring this up because I think the song encapsulates that well, which is funny because usually with new metal bands, the best ones tend to be the ones that break away from the common tropes of the genre. The fact that a lot of people debate whether those bands are actually new metal or not is, I guess, kind of telling that the genre hasn't really aged the best. I'm sorry, new metal fans. But going back to One Step Closer, I think it's just a fun blast of angst and energy. A song about being fueled by anger and just letting it all out. I especially love that bridge. It might be corny, but it's just so satisfying to sing along to. It's a very good song.
I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating.
The real Slim Shady. I mean, this song doesn't really need any introduction. It's an extremely popular song from an extremely popular artist. Yeah, The Real Slim Shady is a pretty classic song. I always thought that it was a little bit overrated in my opinion. Like, I've always preferred Without Me and even My Name Is more, but there's still plenty to love about this song. It has a very memorable beat that you don't really see much on hip hop. The flow is tight, the hook is extremely catchy and full of energy. It has some of Eminem's best lines, my favorite one always being this one. It's a great song that kind of defined the template for future Eminem songs, following the Slim Shady is back kind of song. Well, for the worse mostly, but hey, we did get Without Me, which that alone made it worth it.
I could talk about the place that the song holds in both Eminem's discography and in hip-hop culture, but I think it has already been talked today. Like, if you want to know more about it, I don't think this is the place that you should, I guess, get all of that information or that context or whatever. I'm just saying, I think this is a great song, and I think it encapsulates, well, everything quintessential and great about the character of Slim Shady. Yeah, classic.
I don't know why, it doesn't even matter how hard you try.
With how much I made clear with Linkin Park being such a strong part of my music journey and everything, it's kind of funny that I actually don't have much to say about their biggest song. I don't know, in the end it's a classic that sort of speaks for itself. One of the most quotable hooks in rock music, it has a lot of essential charms of a Linkin Park song. Well, this one has less of that industrial sound, but yes, still, it is kind of a essential Linkin Park song in spirit. Yeah, I don't know, this is a good song. I mean, maybe a little bit dated and maybe a little cheesy, but I still think it's pretty iconic. And even though this is not in my top 10 songs from this band, it is a very good song, and definitely one that I can see why it became so popular. Out of every song placement of my list, this is the one that ended up surprising me the most. I always thought that Sparks was a good, but still relatively mid-tier Golden Age Coldplay song, but looking back, this shit is far more gorgeous than I remembered. Sparks is one of the softest and most low-key songs of the band's discography, which is saying a lot considering that this is Coldplay we're talking about. But this song just captures a certain deep, Call Me Now aura that just manages to feel so immersive and so powerful because of the gentleness that's provided by not just Chris' voice that feels so intimate and inviting, but also because it's one of those songs where the songwriting just sort of writes itself. It's a song that you can just chill to. It's one that took a while to become one of my favorites from Coldplay, at the very least like top 15, but once you really get sucked in, you're really able to feel just every inch of soul from it. It's just a pretty beautiful song.
Lady, hear me tonight, 'cause my
This is going to sound crazy considering that this song has over 500 million streams on Spotify, and not even because of TikTok or anything, like this was popular back then, but I actually haven't heard the song in full till, well, making this video. But I gotta say, the song is so good and so catchy that it kind of already felt like a classic when I've heard it for the first time. Like, just listen to those scenes, they're just so bright and full sounding. Like, this song in general feels like one of those essential electronic dance songs that should be required to listen to. One thing worth noting though is that this song reminds me a lot of early Daft Punk, like Discovery era Daft Punk, which I think is funny because the song came out before both Discovery and any of the singles from that album came out, so I guess it sort of beat it to the punch. I don't know, this one is just a pop. It's simple, but it's such a jam regardless.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real.
You know, this is one that it's kind of hard to talk about because it kind of speaks for itself. Well, it's either that or I'm just not the best person to talk about rap. But I don't take my channel seriously anyway, so let's talk about Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson is a classic. It's not my favorite song on the album, that honor will go to B.O.B, but still, I cannot really think of anything wrong with this one, it just kind of works perfectly. Well, actually, I think Big Boy's verse, despite being good, could have been mixed better in the song, I think. I don't even think it's because he raps fast or that he's not in beat, because he really is. His verse is just, well, very muffled, I don't know. And of course, Andre 3000's verse is amazing. I mean, this line right here is one of the most real lines that I've ever heard. And this is also where the
I hope we feel like this forever, 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 ever, forever, ever.
comes from. I remember when I first listened to this song and my retarded ass so jacked because he was like, holy shit, it's the Kanye line. Yeah, that's actually what happened. I don't know, I'm just talking shit at this point. I'm not the best person to talk about how great the song is. I just want to say that I think it's really great. I think it's a classic. I think the beat is exceptional and unforgettable. It's just some good shit.
It's like a paranoid looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind.
Paper Cut kicks so much ass, dude. So one of the most unique things about Linkin Park and why they managed to stand out among a lot of the other new metal bands was their approach at industrial music. And Paper Cut embraces those industrial aspects to the max. Everything from the production, the kind of smooth flow from Shinoda's rapping, the instantly creeping hook, the way that everything just comes together really. Everything about Paper Cut just feels like it's always driving in forward motion. It's accelerating, ferocious, and it feels like it never even comes close to losing its momentum. One of my favorite Linkin Park songs for sure.
Your skin, oh yeah, your skin burn.
Yeah, I know. You might be thinking that I'm putting this song way too high on the list, and to that I say no. I don't think I'm putting this song too high on my list.
Maybe a part of that might be my bias towards bands that have, I guess, that Radiohead influence into them. You know, the ones that have that sweet alternative rock sound.
But with songs like this, I think I know why. I mean, Yellow is just beautiful. A song that shines brighter than the sun. A song that captures that timeless, enchanting sound that feels so immediately inviting. A song where every guitar melody just feels so alive and so rich. A really soulful performance from Chris. This is a classic. It's not my favorite Coldplay song, but it does encapsulate what made their earlier music so special. Nothing really much to say otherwise, it's just a very warm and sweet love song that just hits right at home.
One more time, we're gonna celebrate.
I will say, I wasn't expecting this one to rank this high on my list. One More Time is one of Daft Punk's most popular songs. In fact, it was their most popular song before Get Lucky stole that spot. And honestly, it's kind of fitting for this to be one of their most popular because it kind of feels like the group's national anthem. And whenever I give that kind of claim, it's usually because of praise. This song just encapsulates what makes Daft Punk so appealing to me. Despite them being one of the most accessible and easy to get into electronic acts, they're also, funnily enough, one of the most unique as well. I mean, that's honestly what I thought when I first heard this song like a while back. Just hearing those crunchy and sort of abrasive dance scenes at the start of the song, it just felt like I was stepping into something that I haven't heard before. I mean, this kind of sound is not really that new to me anymore, but back then this blew my mind. Like, their whole sound has a peculiar charm of its own that, yeah, I guess you could find a fraction of it with groups like Mojo and Justice, but I think Daft Punk just does it the best. One More Time is just a perfect party jam that captures that party freedom in a way that not really many other party jams capture. I mean, I haven't seen any other party jam to have a breakdown, well, sound like this, sound this beautiful, and I don't know, you kind of just feel like you're lost in the joy of everything.
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom.
And for my number one pick for this year, we have Stand by Eminem. Honestly, I wasn't planning to put this song all the way up to number one, and honestly, it doesn't really feel that satisfying to me because it's probably the most generic possible choice that I could have gone with. But one of the main rules that I go with is that honesty goes first when making rankings. I don't know if I worded this the best, to be honest, but what I'm saying is, you know, the song is just that good. Like, Like, it really is just that good. Like, maybe the best song that Eminem has ever done. I gotta agree with the consensus here. But people say it's either that or Lose Yourself, I don't know. Let's talk about the song. I'm not too familiar with hip hop, so maybe this is a concept that has been done before, but I think one of the things that makes this song stand out greatly is its concept and its storytelling. An obsessed fan by the name of Stan writes letters to his idol Eminem, and Stan gets progressively more unhinged when he sees that his idol isn't responding to him, ending with Stan driving his car out of the bridge, with his girl trapped in the trunk. A very dark story that the song fully takes advantage to. Not just a very intricate storytelling that gives a very realistic background to the Stan character, but the atmosphere and the general tone of the song is unforgettable as well. Little details such as the more relaxed beat and the rain sound effects, which I think alone paints the kind of space these characters live in. Probably also why I don't like the music video as much, I just prefer this being up to the imagination of the listener. So yeah, I think I feel comfortable with this being my number one of this year. It's not only one of the most unique songs that Eminem has done, but I think it's one of the most unique hip-hop songs, period. It's a song that ties perfectly with the fame and controversy that Eminem was experiencing at the time. And in general, this song is just a great way of expanding that idea as well. It's a fantastic song for sure. Well, that was my list. I don't really have anything else to add here, so stay tuned for the 2001 list. I'll see you in the next Bell's Basement.